up, good people? This is DJ Musketeer. Here you are with us at the De-Cypher, and today we're going to be talking about this new fire album, KB Illest, The Price of Ambition, and I'm here with JPlus and Harry to actually decipher this fire.
What happened in between these covers and on the CD that didn't work for some people, but for a lot of people it did work who are technologically advanced. Yeah, you want to go first or can I start?
Well, let me. Okay, before I get into that, I just want to touch on, okay, as a whole, what I get from the album is, I feel that it's KP's evolution is very evident, as in, let me just say, he's grown up. I guess it also kind of ties into the album, The Price of Ambition. He's grown up in terms of being, I mean, he's always been an amazing lyricist. He's always been, very meticulous and hardworking and, borderline perfectionist, I would dare to say.
Right. The equivalent of punctual in hip hop.
Yeah, the equivalent of punctual. So what I would say is that even with all of that, The Price of Ambition, actually, where he has grown the most is relating to a broader audience.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. And I think any artist would like to maintain their identity and still be able to have a broader appeal. And I think KP nailed it in this regard.
Yeah, and I think that, KB in a way is kind of our industry's golden child. In a way that I think that he would be easily approachable for the majority of the population. The heads can, really dig it.
That's
the people who just want to have fun with music can dig it. I think that there's a spectrum of people that would be, easy with his music. And what ties into what you're saying, obviously, musically and content-wise, I think that both ways he's made it very local. He's dropping. There's some house on that album. And I think that percussion-wise, there are a couple of tracks that are very, very, very African or Afro-popish, especially the song with Oseo. And then subject matter-wise, when he name drops celebrities, he name drops Frankie Fredericks, Johanna Benson, he name drops Harry Simon, Julius Indongo, Maria Nepembe is there. When he talks about issues, that he mentions things like being more famous than a J66 cab, and so it's local stuff.
And that's the thing. He's able. One of the things I've always liked about him is that he can, when he does a contextual track, he will be able to pull things out. And again, he's pretty. I would say he's pretty much Namibian, but the fact that I don't know if he's actually Namibian by descent, maybe because he grew up here or whatever. But the fact that he's able to relate to his local environment, and also when he builds concepts, he brings that in. So for example, that track where it was talking about Frankie Fredericks, Johanna Benson, Harry Simon, and all of that. That was brilliant.
But it's basically all over. It's all over. It's not. He doesn't reference Donald Trump. He references Choba Mobanda. That's what makes it, interesting for us here. Donald Trump is a universal topic, obviously, but what ties into what's interesting to us here and now. And I also like the fact that he starts the album off with a song called Lucky Break, saying I'm just kicking it, waiting for my lucky break. But the homeboy is not waiting for his lucky break. Yeah. We always discuss about professionalism, and MCs need to put in work. Sure. Can you think about an MC in Windhoek in Namibia who's put in work more consistently than KP in the last couple of years?
Not at all.
The homie puts in work, and as far as the whole Mshasho deal, we were all worried. Cypher organizers, is this not going to affect him being able to take part in the shows? Absolutely no effect.
Yeah. In fact, the night after his CD launch, he went and participated in a battle.
Yeah, Namibia Rap Battle.
Brought
Namibia Rap League. Yeah.
Yeah, the NRL event that took place the night after the CD launch, and that just shows that he applies himself basically. So I have nothing but respect for KP.
Yeah, and even the fact that the album launch itself, the music on the album itself is not necessarily live music, but he clearly put in a lot of work to bring in great musicians and make a show that worked with a live band. And I don't think the performance was any worse for using different instrumentation that's on the album, or using live instrumentation instead of computer music.
Because so much could have gone wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously he had great players. He had, when you play with View and these guys, you'll get the right.
Yeah.
So which I mean, coming back to the album, which one is like your standout track? If there's anything okay, do you know what?
I think there's a few. For me, I really like the sequencing of the album, because it starts with bangers. It starts with Lucky Break, then it's Black Future, Long Live Romeo, then it's what's that song Willie G produced after that, Shut It Down, then it's Bang Bang with Young T and the Dog, then the gang song it was really nice to hear Script and Lioness on the project, and also have Willie G still produce. Have that whole gang together, kinda.
Yeah.
And then it kinda like now we've kinda exhausted the banger situation. We've had 6 tracks of bangers. Now you can have people listen to a song like Be Okay, where you're talking about a woman's struggle in Namibia, which is kind of a thing right now. If you don't have a support structure, if you're kind of drifting, if you don't have a father who shows you the way, if you don't really have your support, how do you instead of just drifting? What happens to you? What you go through? That concept doesn't necessarily work on its own. But once you've gotten our attention with 6 bangers, now we can listen to that. Now we can listen to that topic, and I'm not talking about just us. I'm talking about population in general, because it's a bit of a heavier topic.
Yeah, because generally the way the population of fans works here in Namibia, and you can go to any show, and especially the Vintage Jazz Festival, they'll bring down big names and that sort of thing. But people will still be hanging out until that hit song plays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So people will be brought based on, people love this group, but they actually love the song.
Yeah.
So KP was smart in bringing in the songs that people love, get that out of them, get the attention. Now, they might be willing to listen to the next few.
Yeah, but then you follow Be Okay, followed by the house tracks, so to say. I Know You and If There's Love.
There we go.
Which, and the thing is, I'm not really a house fan. I don't sit around listening to house or enjoy listening to house when I'm out. But for some reason, I really like those 2 tracks. I really like I Know You, which is performed throughout the year. It started with De-Cypher earlier in the year, and then If There's Love, which is a kind of a long track with him having a one single longer verse, but it all really sounds like it was designed considering what KP is trying to say in that song. Monique English is on that song, Guy is on that song, and it all kind of plays in together very nicely with the concept. And that surprised me, that I would find it so appealing.
For me, the standout tracks, I can't pinpoint one. But if I had to narrow it down as much as possible, Gang, the one with Script and Lioness, that was fire. Because even at the CD launch, everybody just brought... Yeah. They just turned the heat up by degrees. Shout out to Lioness. Out of all 3, she in terms of growth and evolution, she just went exponential on that track.
She's very menacing. It's a very good verse. And
then I Know You. I don't know why that song just sticks for me, but it's it's got a bit of singing in it. It's got a nice groove and everything, but yeah,
I think that's also mastery of KP, because the way he flows on that is very, very skilled. It sounds so easy, but the way he flows on that, the way he tells the story with using that flow, it's very, very impressive.
And I think I mentioned this before we started filming. The fact that what really sets KP apart, yes, he's got bars and punchlines, and so do other rappers. They also have bars and punchlines, but KP is one of the few who uses diction as well. And the way he uses diction, and especially I Know You, and even Long Live, it might not be noticeable so much in Long Live, but it's so cleverly put in there. yeah, it's for me. Those I think those are the ones I would pick. Gang, Long Live, and I Know You. Those if I were to have a radio that's stuck on 3 songs, I think I'd have those.
It's a good,
Is it
it's a good spread too. I think I really liked also the fact how effortless. I mean, I'm not super fluent on Oshi Herero. I have to admit. But the way he, the way he used,
You don't say.
but the way he used Oshi Herero in Longling Momuinho, I thought it was. Even you could tell at the album launch how people really enjoyed it, and I think he made it very effortlessly how he put it in the song.
Yeah,
it was very impressive.
People would actually think he's Namibian.
Yeah.
The one song that I was kind of like, I expected that to be one of the bangers of the album was Bad One with Ali Dadoud, right?
Yeah.
Now it was a dope song, I think, right? But I don't know, something like, you know, if you have two guys like that coming together on a track, you would think they would rip that track to shit, right? And it felt kind of cautious from both sides, like where it's like, okay, it's dope, but they could have done so much more.
Do you think that could maybe be because of the subject matter? I mean, talking about women, and I mean, Ali is there obviously for the role of being a singer.
True. But the thing is, I've seen Ali touching on subjects like that, right? You talk about women and whatnot. I've seen Ali murk a track. Like I'm not even just saying about just the subject matter, but in terms of my point is this: did they bring their first fire A bars to that song? I don't think that really happened. It was kind of played safe in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, but that's Ali's part was still the hook.
Yeah.
Murking a hook is not. I think he murked the hook. I think the hook was on point. I like Bad One. I personally think it's a nice song. I don't think it's the best song on the album, but I think that it's a good song.
That's what I'm saying. It's definitely a solid song, right? It's definitely a dope track. I'm just saying, like, if I had two heavyweights like that on the track, I would have expected more.
I agree with him, because when I saw it on Facebook that KP and Ali are gonna do a track, I imagined things for it before I even heard
Nothing will ever
it.
be the same.
Exactly. And then when I heard it, I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a nice song.
Yeah, it's a nice song. It's not really.
So your expectations made you a little underwhelmed.
Yeah,
Your expectations were low.
It's not that the track was bad. It was.
Yeah.
Well, you know, KP and Ali, they just have to do a song where they just go bar for bar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I want. That's what I want for them. Like basically battling each other on the track. That would be too dope.
Yeah.
No, one thing I wanted to talk about was having the dog on the album, and for me, I was unsure about the whole thing. Being on Mshasho, having the dog on the album, but I really enjoyed the feature. I ended up really liking the feature, and I went to Yolokene like, what is he saying here? What is he saying here? What is he saying here? You know, it's not simple. It's not the simple Ongeipi stuff. I know.
It wasn't in Herrera.
Which you're good at.
But what came to my mind when I listened to that, first Namibian song that I really vibe with was Can You Feel It? That was the first Namibian song that I really vibe with. And it was nice to kind of see that feature on the album, because it just reminded me of me having my first experience in the country. But also, I kind of see, this might sound a little arrogant because Kwaito is much bigger than rap is here, but I kind of see Kwaito hooks being what the Junior Reid and Zisla hooks are in American rap.
Yeah, true.
Having hooks like that,
True.
You know?
Yeah, I dare say Kwaito is not very far from rap anyway. I dare say it.
And then there was silence.
Get that silence.
Because I've got the kahunas to say it. Because at the end of the day, how far from rap is Kwaito? Yes, in terms when we're talking about style of lyricism and MCing, they are worlds apart. But in terms of sound and
Did you see a lot of Kwaito influence on KP's album?
No, not on the album. I don't know.
But I know for a fact that he was listening to nothing but Kwaito before that.
So maybe there's something that we don't hear.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, but here's the thing. I'm like, because when you listen to an MC like KP, and then every time it was the time when my car was not working, so KP and I we worked next to each other, and I'd catch a ride home with him every single day. Kwaito bumping in his ride, and not because it was Mshasho. He was just genuinely listening, and the thing is, like, yo, I'm really vibing to this. Check it out, da, 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 da. And I mean, he was genuinely into it.
Yeah.
So maybe he was vibing with the energy, because Kwaito is quite raw in its deliverance in the subject and things like that. So maybe could be.
And here's the thing. I mean, if you're gonna vibe with energy of a song, that's an entire thing. But if you're gonna be like, wait, let's play that again. That's not the whole song. That's a segment. And I mean, yes, it's a part of the whole song. But to do that, you have to be into it. Like, yeah, I think. Or do I have to elaborate on that?
No, it's cool. It's cool. So
just to mention, we've kind of gone through the list a little bit of the album in general. I just wanted to. I thought there was one song that I didn't really feel. It didn't really sound like it fit the album. And it didn't really sound like a KP song, and that's the song with a.k.a. You want it. When it plays after Bad One, it doesn't really sound like a KP song. I'm not saying that I don't think it's a bad song. I just don't think it sounds like a KP. It sounds like a a.k.a. featuring KP Illest song, and maybe it's a future single. Maybe that's why it's there. And now that I'm mentioning that I don't like the song, it's probably gonna win a Nama. But as far as the sequence, I mean, for a while it just kind of goes somewhere else, and it doesn't sound like it's part of the project.
Yeah, but most of the times on an album, there's songs like that just feel like this belongs on another project.
Yeah.
And I think artists maybe do that as well, just to test the waters sometimes.
Yeah.
But I also think, generally speaking, I mean, big up to KP for doing it, but a lot of times albums do not necessarily, I'm speaking locally, a lot of times albums do not follow sequences.
Yeah.
There's no real story behind it. It was just like, okay, we've got a whole bunch of tracks and we just put it together.
Figure out what
it's like, and if someone were to, let's say, rewrite take the album and then change the sequence of songs and then give it to another person, it would still be the same album. It wouldn't be like, wait a minute, something's not adding up here.
Yeah.
I would like to use an extreme example of Master Ace. I can't remember any album of his that did not follow a sequence.
Yeah.
So much so that if you took one song from here, took track 10, and then you put it in place of track 3, and
it wouldn't make sense.
It would not make sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, even Kendrick does it, Yeah. And that's what made To Pimp a Butterfly like a really great piece of art.
Best album of this decade.
I mean, I'm not a huge Kendrick fan. I will not deny that dude can rap. He's a genius, he's conceptual, But when I finally fell into the storyline, I was amazed.
Oh.
But my question is, can we name Namibian albums which have followed that pattern? Where it's, here's the title.
Are you talking about hip-hop albums or just in general?
I'm talking generally. It's just that for me...
But it's not just the sequence, I mean, it's just not just a collection of songs.
Yeah, it's not a collection of songs, but there's a journey that you're going.
But there's a different type of art. I mean, I think that's a different type of world when you look at albums, almost like it's a single. Like I'm telling one story on this album. I don't think even worldwide I'll ever.
Is there a concept on
lost art?
KP's?
Yeah, I mean the album is called Price of Ambition, but I'm not really sure if I catch it from the album. The Price of the tagline anyway.
And also the fact that, well, I'm just like, the fact that he's wearing a suit, and again he's like dressing up formal clothes and stuff like that. That to me is, in terms of the artwork, is the only form of ambition that I am seeing.
Until you open it up and then you see the poster that's inside where it's...
Hold up. Let me pull it out.
Check that here.
Unboxing.
Unboxing, yeah.
Unboxing.
This has changed.
While you do that, let me talk about my favorite songs. The unboxing happened quickly.
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't slow enough. It was premature unboxing.
You're bad for TV.
Yeah, well, hey. So, yeah.
Okay.
Good. Seriously.
So what were you saying about this?
Like look on the album cover, he's like all dressed prim and proper, and you kind of understand the whole price of ambition type of situation, right? And also if you know KP, kind of his style, right?
Yeah.
My favorite tracks on the album would be Black Future, Long Live Omuinjo, I Know You, and one song that we haven't really touched on now that from the get-go, even at the album launch, that I was feeling was Switch Lanes, which is I think that's the static play beat also. But just from the moment it hits, it has that certain element of energy, and by the time KP comes in, you're already going like.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Contain yourself.
Yeah, no, those are my favorite tracks. Overall, I think that we got a really solid album from KP, and he was clearly looking for a local sound and local context and adding local languages in the mix, which I thought was it was nice that he tried.
Genius.
Yeah, I don't know if it was genius yet. I think that he released a good album. Knowing KP, I think that he still can grow. I think this album was a good album. I think he has something that we can call a great album, if not even a classic. I think he still has that in him.
He hasn't peaked.
Yeah, I still as good as he is at the moment. I think that he's still growing. I still think that there's even a better album.
Where did you place this in the growth of Nam hip hop?
I mean, me personally, I have to say that I'm slightly ignorant to what happened in the 2000s. I'm only really aware of what's happened in the past 6-7 years.
Let's put it this way, right? In terms of growth of Namibian hip hop, right? This shows what discipline can actually do.
Yeah.
Like literally being there on time, like focusing on your music, making the right moves. This is exactly what you can do with that.
I mean, an honest opinion, all the best to KP in his future endeavors. Hope this album does well. I hope he wins a couple of Namas, all of that. I hope one of these singles will end up being a smash hit. I hope he gets radio play, all of that. I think that this is an example of an album that majority of us can vibe to.
Yeah, and I guess another thing that also gets me to latch onto albums and music as well is the personality behind it.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to want to pull out money and buy a CD at a show after you see a person perform, as opposed to just walking into the store and say, oh, there's a KP CD and here's another one. You know, when you have that experience with a person, you know, you take the CD. So I would say KP as a person as well is someone that a lot of other people who could develop their art into something great. I mean, his humility, the fact that he is who he is, and I think we even mentioned the fact that he launched his CD the night before and then went to be part of a cypher of the battle the next night. He could have been, this is beneath me. He could have, but he doesn't do that. He's the type of guy who's willing to get his hands dirty and stuff like that. And I think humility in the Namibian game is something that can actually get people to go far. And it's just way too much pride for people to grow the way that they could grow, the way KP has. So.
And also to touch on that, I mean, I think the way he finishes off the album, a love song, the love song for his mom with his brother on the hook.
Yeah.
I thought it was a nice way to finish it off. Sound-wise, very different from the rest of the album, but I thought as a closer, very, very enjoyable track. I thought it was just nice.
Yeah. Almost made me cry.